Hello, this video is about practice problem set 3-12. In this practice problem set, you are given deductions that have already been completed, and it's your job to supply the annotations that are missing. These problems use only the valid argument rules, not the equivalence rules, so it's only the valid argument rules that you should be looking at. I've written number 5 up on the board, so let's start with number 5. I can tell that 1 and 2 are unsupported premises because you see at the end of 2, we have the slash, the 3 dots in the triangular configuration, followed by the main conclusion, and that's the last step. So number 3 and number 4 are subconclusions, number 5 is the main conclusion. For 3, 4, and 5, we're going to have to figure out what line or lines above were used to get them and write that number or those numbers, and also what rule was used. So starting with number 3, that's just Q by itself. And I see Q occurs in both number 1 and number 2. But, oh boy, it's pretty far embedded inside of something complicated in number 2. Doesn't come from there. It would be easy, however, to get Q by itself from number 1. Remember, we've got a rule called simplification that tells us that whenever we have a conjunction, we can derive either one of the conjuncts all by itself. So 3 comes from line 1 using the simplification rule, which we abbreviate as SIM. Moving now to line 4, that's Q wedge R. We just had, in number 3, Q by itself, and now we've got a disjunction where Q is one disjunct and the other disjunction is something else. Well, there's a rule called addition that tells us when we've got any line, we can form a disjunction from it using the line above as one disjunct and adding anything else in the world that we want. So number 4 we get by applying the addition rule to number 3. Oh, I see that I made a copying mistake here. Let me fix that. There we go. It's very easy to make copying mistakes in this. It's a good idea to double check your copying. I should have done that myself. So, okay, now we in line 5 get negation sign S, the main conclusion. I notice that's the consequent of the conditional that we have in number 2. And I notice that in number 4 we have the antecedent of that conditional. So if we apply modus ponens to lines 2 and 4, we can get negation sign S by itself. All right, that was number 5. I'm going to turn now to number 8. And I'm going to double check my copying, because as I accidentally illustrated for you when working number 5, it's very easy to make copying mistakes with these things. In particular, it's very easy to just neglect to copy a negation sign. All right, I think this looks right. So let me go ahead with it. Now number 4 is the last line that is an unsupported premise. So the annotations that are missing are just from the lines below that. That is 5, 6, and 7. Looking at number 5, I see that's the consequent of the conditional that we have in number 2. And in number 1, we have the antecedent of that same conditional. So the way we get line 5 is by applying modus ponens to lines 1 and 2. How then can we get negation sign R by itself? Well, look at 3 and 4 together, and you'll see that these, if we take 3 and 4 as the two premises, they conform to the modus tollens pattern. So we can get 6 by applying modus tollens to 3 and 4. How then will we get number 7, negation sign Q? Well, you see that's a disjunct in 5. And in 6, we have the negation of the other disjunct. The disjunctive argument pattern is exactly that. One premise is a disjunction, the other premise is the negation of one of the disjuncts, and then the conclusion is the other disjunct. So we get 7 from 5 and 6 using disjunctive argument. I'm going to do one more in this video for you. That's number 9. All right, so here we are. Let me double check my copying to make sure I didn't make any errors there that could mess everything up. Nope, looks good. All right, so let's start then. Number 4 is the line where we start because 1, 2, and 3 are unsupported premises. I'm noticing if you consider 1 and 2 together, you got 2 conditionals, and the consequent of one is the antecedent of the other. So we can get line 4 from 1 and 2 by applying the chain argument rule. 5 is just negation sign P all by itself, and we have that as one conjunct in number 3. The simplification rule again tells us that for any line that's a conjunction, we can derive either one of the conjuncts all by itself. If you look now at 4 and 5, you'll see that, and 6, you'll see that we've got an instance of modus ponens. 4 is a conditional, 5 is its antecedent, and then the conclusion we're drawing from that is the consequent of the conditional. 7 is negation sign U, and we have that in number 3 as one conjunct in a conjunction. Applying simplification again, like we did with line 5, to get negation sign P by itself. Applying simplification again, we can get negation sign U by itself. And then finally, look at 6 and 7 together. We've got a conditional in 6. In 7, we've got the negation of the consequent. And then 8, the conclusion we're trying to get is the negation of the antecedent of the conditional in number 6. And that is the modus tollens pattern. So the annotation for line 8 is 6, 7 modus tollens. All right, I hope this has been helpful for you. I'll see you soon again in another video. Bye for now.